and welcome to Radiant Dawn 0% Growths. This is my fourth Fire Emblem 0% Growths Let's Play, and this time I am doing my favorite game in the series, Radiant Dawn, also the first game that I played on my channel about 2 years ago. And a game that I think should be pretty interesting for 0% growths, just because of the way the game is structured. Definitely encourages some of the same thought processes that you use for 0% growths. Some other things to note before I get started. First of all, as with my other 0% growths playthroughs, this is going to be I am going to be attempting to low turn count as much as possible. However, as with all my other 0% growths playthroughs, I'm not using any other playthroughs as a reference. I'm not going to generally be using RNG manipulation, although I say that, but I have on occasion done it when it's made a really big difference. But in general, I don't do that. So this isn't going to be something to watch if you're like looking for completely perfect play, but hopefully it'll be pretty good. I also should mention, I guess I should mention that the way that this is going to work is going to be a little bit different than some of the others, in that Radiant Dawn has, unlike the older games, has actually a system that forces you to get at least one stat point for every level up. So as a Path of Radiance and some of the games prior to that, the way it worked is that if you rolled no stat gains, it would re-roll, but then if you rolled it again, which was obviously super unlikely, that would just be your level. But Radiant Dawn doesn't work that way. So in order to have the effect of 0% growths, the way that it works is that physical units, such as Edward here, have a 100% magic growth and 0% everything else, so that he'll just gain magic and he won't gain anything else. And then magical units like Micaiah generally have 100% strength growth, which is a little bit more impactful than 100% magic growth for physical units, but still generally not too relevant. There are a couple of exceptions to this. I know Alencia is one, because Alencia cares about both her strength and her magic stats, so I think it's her luck growth that's set to 100. I think Soniki works the same way, not because Soniki is a physical and magical unit, but because her strength is so low relative to the weight of her tomes that it actually affects her speed if she grows strength. So credit goes to Don151, very well-known, well-respected, and very good Fire Emblem LTCer, for providing me with the ROM. I don't know if he actually made the ROM or not. I want to say that he did, but he might have gotten it from somebody else. I don't actually remember. Either way, credit to him for providing it to me. And so yeah, so it'll be a little bit different in that respect. Another thing to note, as a result of what I mentioned about the magic growth, is that this means that the imbue skill is really, really good. So one of the rules for the run is no using imbue, just because it's too strong relative to what it's supposed to be. To just have like a unit that's gonna like heal like crazy amounts every turn because they've got like maxed out magic. In theory, we could also say that there's a rule about not using the magic cards, but nobody really cares about those. Anyway, alright, so on to actually playing the game. Maybe there's other stuff I need to mention, but hopefully I'll think of it later if that comes up. So here we are in the prologue. It's a route, and if you watched my level design, review series on Radiant Dawn, which I do intend to continue, by the way. A part of my plan from this playthrough is to get some newer footage now that I'm using a better recording setup for continuing that series. But when I talked about the prologue, I mentioned the fact that there's no like Jagan-like unit, and that really makes a difference in terms of how quickly we can clear the map, because Edward pretty much has to tank everything, but he can't like take more than 2 or 3 hits depending on which enemies he's engaging, especially because in hard mode, which of course we were playing on hard mode, there's no weapon triangle, which means he doesn't get the advantage that he would normally get against all of these guys with axes. Another thing about hard mode, there's no enemy ranges, so that's kind of annoying, but not a really huge deal here. But something to note that may not be obvious is while Edward, like other Tellius foot units, has 6 movement, these brigands actually have 5, bandits. Though they do have improved movement in certain types of terrain, which does come up in later chapters. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I should talk about the units that we've got. I already mentioned that Edward is no Jagan, but we got Micaiah. Micaiah normally is not great. Her primary utility in part 1, that is to say before she promotes and gets access to staves, is to use the Thani Tome. The effective damage on the Thani Tome is really good against cavalry and armored units. With 0% growths, I'm concerned that she's not going to one-hit KO enemies with that, with her base magic. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, other than that, I mean, she's very fragile and not very good. Doesn't have much attack power, and yeah. Then we got Edward. So normally Edward's all right. You know, he's not a unit that, if this were, I want to say this. If Radiant Dawn were structured more like a normal game, he would not be a unit that was worth investing in, because, you know, you get so much better units later in the game. But because of the way the game is structured, where, you know, you don't have the Grail mercenaries coming in and fighting in the same chapters as the Dawn Brigade, it can be worth investing in Edward so that you have, you know, a strong unit for part 3. I mean, he's not going to be the best unit that you have in the Dawn Brigade, but he's good enough that he can be worth using in part 3 if you can get him promoted. But in 0 growths, that is not going to be the case. I mean, he's going to have to be the star of the show for this chapter, and he's going to be pretty relevant next chapter still, I imagine. But like, I would think as soon as chapter 2, he's gonna, like, his limitations are really gonna start to show. I mean, he's like reasonably fast, but he really benefits from a couple of early speed level ups. He really benefits from a couple of early strength level ups. And if he's not getting those, which obviously he won't be, I think he's really gonna struggle. So we'll see again how that goes. But that's my expectation. Is neither is these units are units that I want to invest in. Edward does have Wrath, which can, but whether or not that procs in this chapter can make like a significant difference to how this chapter plays out. And yeah, he can also just like randomly crit like that. Not that that one mattered, but it can in general. Alright, so now we're going to come up here and hit this guy. And then we could full heal Edward with a vulnerary, but we're actually going to grab this herb and use that instead to increase the chances that he does actually activate Wrath and kill one of these guys. Just like that. Wow. Okay. Wow. Ha! You know, I actually think he might have died if that guy had hit him. I didn't bother to check the damage on these guys, but like basically some of the bandits have 11 attacks, some of them have 12. Like I think these guys maybe always have 12. This one's got 9 speed, which is unfortunate because that means Edward can't double him. But, yeah, this guy's got 11. Yeah, so I didn't bother to check the damage because I wasn't expecting him to actually crit. But, yeah, I think he would have died. So that's exciting. That's one way we might be able to save some turns. So I think what we're going to do now... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Yeah, so unfortunately, what I would really like to do at this point is have Edward move right here and, like, just, like, block all these guys off so that, like, these, we don't have to fight these guys in the open area, and Micaiah and Leonardo can have some cover. But unfortunately, Hugo, the boss, has 19 attack. So he does 14 damage to Edward, and these guys do 7 each. So that's a dead Edward. So instead, I'm just gonna have Edward come up here. The boss does have 6 move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, but we need to make sure we're in Leonardo's range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay, so we'll go here. Actually, should we use the herb again? So he'll have 15 HP, and they're doing 7 each. Yeah, I guess we should. Hope for the best. Oh. Okay, I missed. Unexpected. Okay, well. Let's see. So we can do 8 damage. 8 damage. And 7 damage. That's a kill. Oh, he does double this guy. Okay, we knew that. What's actually going to happen is that guy's going to attack Leonardo, but... I think. I mean, I guess it's possible he'll attack Micaiah. 2, 3, 4, 6. And we could move Edward into range of him, but we're not going to do that. There's the magic growth. Hey, look at that. Alright, so we could... lure the boss out, but we probably can't do so safely. I don't think... Actually, maybe they can do enough damage to kill him. Oh, they can. Excellent. Okay, then that's what we're doing. Because now we can move Edward up. Now, I think, let's see, Herb puts him at 18 HP. Okay, he survives that, and it puts him in Wrath range. So we're going to do that. Well, of course he's going to survive with only -1 HP. No Wrath. Crit. Now, unfortunately, the boss is beefy enough where we still might not be able to kill him on enemy phase. Yeah. Ah. Alright, so our herb gets him to 14 HP. That's not enough, so we got a vulnerary. There we go! Nicely done, Edward. Alright. So, for reference, this chapter, normally, if you don't get all those Wrath crits, it takes 9 turns. Or at least that's been what I've been able to do. But here we managed to do it in 7 turns, so good, very lucky stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how this chapter is. It's a little... if Edward can actually level strength and speed, you know, if you're playing if you're playing normally, then you can clear it this fast by just having him like double some of the enemies and do like a little bit more damage to Pugo and that kind of thing. But as it is, we need to get lucky, and we did. So, hooray for that! Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for Chapter 1. Until then.